Hello, everybody. As we move into week 5, I wanted to just take a few moments first to go over 4 of the leadership styles that you read about and talked about in the discussion forums last week. The 4 that I've decided to focus on are ones that the majority of you chose and selected. So let's just go over some of the highlights of these 4 different types of leadership styles. When we look at the transformational leader, we can recognize that person because they have a tremendous amount of charisma. They influence people, they have vision, they're creative. These are people who know how to inspire and motivate, who can stimulate the intellectual capacity of people, and they're also very focused on individualized consideration. They want to see their team grow. They want to see their team members be the best that they can be. The attributes of a transformational leader is someone who has a vision, is someone that people trust, they have respect, they have great integrity, and they know how to get people to commit to the goals because they themselves are wholly committed to their goals. And so they model that behavior and they explain that in all the communication that they have. That tremendous enthusiasm that they have is what carries people through. These are people, too, who are very good problem solvers. But what's even more important is that they involve others in solving those problems. They don't just dictate how they want things to be done. They get people involved in the thinking, they get them involved in the critical and the creative process. And so this type of listening empowers people to be the best that they can be. The transactional leader is someone who focuses very much on that normal flow of operations. They give a lot of incentives to motivate employees to perform at their best. And they have an ability to address those small operational details very quickly. So they differ from that transformational leader because they're not the same level of visionary that a transformational leader is. These are the people who focus on operational details. The servant leader is in many ways just a logical extension of the transformational leader, and that their focus first and foremost is on their staff, it's on their followers, it's on their team. These are people who value those who make up the organization. Servant leadership was the brainchild of Robert Greenleaf, who believed that true leadership emerged from people who were intrinsically motivated to help others. So they're not just looking for the external gratification. This is something that comes from deep within them. And so they transcend the self-interest to serve the needs of others. They have a very long-term transformational approach, not just to work, but to their life. So serving their employees, their clients, their customers, and the community is their first priority. Characteristics of the servant leader include that ability to empathize, they have great awareness, they conceptualize, they have foresight. Stewardship is at the forefront of the way that they think, and a commitment to the growth of others and to the community. Now, the situational leader is that person in the organization who is able to adjust their style to fit the development level of the people that they are trying to influence. So the situational leader will change his or her style and not expect the staff to adapt to their style. And so this type of leadership style can change continually in order to meet the needs of others in the organization based on the situation. One term that I heard from so many of you was perfectionism. That what gets in your way or what holds you back is that you are always trying to be perfect. Give it up. Perfectionism is an unattainable ideal. But what resides just below perfectionism is the attainable bar of excellence. When we operate under excellence, sure, we're going to make some mistakes and we're going to have some stutter steps along the way. But that ability to keep moving forward, to have that type of resilient optimism, to see that in our failures, our learning experiences, if you remember, I gave you the acronym for FAIL as being a first activity in learning. Because when we focus on fail as frustration and anger and insecurity and a lack of confidence, that's what holds us back. And so when we're striving to be perfect and we mess up, we get frustrated. That's the F in fail. When we strive to be perfect and things don't go right, we get angry. And then we start to feel insecure. That's the A in the I. And then we get that lack of confidence. So fail, frustration, anger, insecurity, lack of confidence. We have to change the way we look at that and see it as a first activity in learning. Now, as we move into the readings and the discussion for week 5, and we look at that Center for Creative Leadership, there are 5 other key themes that come out. The first one is agency, which are intentional actions that are taken towards achieving a desired goal. So when thinking about yourself in agency, analyze what would be your career steps. Certainly part of those steps is your decision to come back to school, to get your degree in your chosen field. And then you also have to look at what we call those SMART goals to make sure that they're realistic and that your goals are specific and take you along the steps necessary to develop a plan for achieving them. And it's looking and facing those challenges that are outside your current way of doing things. Authenticity is being true to yourself. It's being genuine. It's finding your style and your way of leading. Very often when we start out in the beginning stages of our leadership development, we have those people we look up to, and we look at the way they do things and their style and the way that they manage themselves and compose themselves and conduct themselves. And at first we have that tendency to copy, and that's okay. But eventually, a true leader has to have that self-awareness, that self-management, that confidence into themselves to develop their own style, make their own decisions, come to their own conclusions as to how they will lead. That is authenticity. So by developing your self-awareness, you gain that clarity about your values, your preferences, and your skills. Connection, we can't stress this enough. Connection is also a key component of our resiliency. It's focusing on our relationships, both personally and professionally. That's why finding a mentor is a very, very good thing to help you along the way. And also establishing what we call your personal board of directors, that support system, those sounding boards that you have. And your personal board of directors has to be comprised and composed of people who are not afraid to challenge you. If you surround yourself with people who are always going to say yes and oh how wonderful, oh when you did the best job, you will not grow. You need those honest brokers in your life who will challenge you, who will say, this may not be the best direction for you to go. And maybe this decision you made needs to be rethought because there may be consequences that you are not addressing. So find those honest brokers in your life. Establish your personal board of directors, people who will hold you accountable. Again, going back to things we talked about in class in weeks 1 and 2, when we talked about self-awareness and self-management. It's that self-clarity, and that comes by understanding your values, your motivations, and your behavior. So to increase your self-clarity, seek feedback to better see your strengths and weaknesses and to understand the impact that you have on others. That's why that personal board of directors is so vital. And then evaluate how your needs and your motivations and your goals will change over time and are changing over time. That's why you have to continually reassess what is of value to you. And then look for those patterns that guide you, but also be open to things that are possible. Remember, I said to you, don't be like a racehorse wearing blinders, keeping you on a very focused, narrow direction. The more you open up the field of what is possible, the more things that are probable will be made aware to you. That's why making learning a priority, keeping your education ongoing, and why self-reflection every day needs to be a priority in your life. That desire to seek roles beyond work, that way that we unite the different roles in our life into an integrated whole, is so vital. Wholeness is key. It's key to good leadership. It's key to living a truly self-fulfilled life. So to help you gain that sense of wholeness, let go of the idea that it's about balance or some sort of equitable division of time between work and other roles. Wholeness is about setting priorities and valuing all your commitments. It's about saying no to roles or obligations that no longer serve you. Remember, no is a sentence in and of itself. No, period. A good communicator knows how to say no, period. Not no comma, not no dot, dot, dot. No, period. This week, you're also being asked to think about how you engage within your community, to be thinking about those programs, those groups in your workplace that might be available for you to take advantage of to help your professional development. I know some of you mentioned that you had Toastmasters groups that were part of your organization to help you be a better speaker, to be a better presenter. And also look within your city and your town. What else is available to you in terms of community building and recreation and education? And what are some of the activities through local organizations that can be of assistance to you in achieving your financial goals, your special interest needs, your health and your wellness? And what community service opportunities are available to you through your public school system or even private school system if your children are involved in a private school, in human service organizations or religious and spiritual organizations that you belong to. We have so many opportunities available to us to be of service to the larger community. We just need to open our eyes and seek them out. If there's a trade association that is part of your profession, get involved in that. Become a member, take on an active role, serve on a committee. These are great ways to further your career and your service. The other things you can do are, a lot of times businesses and organizations belong to local chambers of commerce. So, getting involved in volunteering to serve on an education committee through your chamber, to eventually serve on a board of directors, is an excellent way to build your leadership skills. And then you've also been asked this week to brainstorm and share other activities you have about engaging in your community. Maybe there is something that you started for yourself. Maybe you saw a need to have a food drive in your church or a diaper drive. Remember what I said to you in week 1. Well 220 and Well 330 are your stepstone opportunities to think about and build toward your capstone project in Well 440. So open your eyes, look at what's around you. What is a need to be fulfilled? That's why we ask you to brainstorm this week and share things that you are involved with or activities that you're thinking about being involved with. All right, ladies, that's it for me for this week. I will look forward to seeing you on Saturday, June 3rd. Remember, there is no school next week. It is Memorial Day weekend and school is closed. So I'll be looking forward to seeing what you're writing in your discussion boards this week. And just as I did last week, I will reply to each of you individually so that I am not in any way skewing the direction of the discussions. I want you to keep that an open forum. Thank you all. See you soon.